Now on 767 News, Attorney General reassures the pursuit of justice in a case involving Joshua Etienne and 5 police officers. Completion of the state-of-the-art Newtown Primary School anticipated to change the face of primary education. Fine Foods Inc. donates to education on the island. And in sports, Police Sports Club defeat LA Knights. Welcome everyone, I am Rima Alfred and you're watching 767 News, Dominica's #1 news source. We'll be right back with the latest stories and developments happening across Dominica.
It's March Madness at Courts! Get all for nothing and nothing to pay for 30 days! Plus, get mad deals all over the store! And it gets even better with one crazy deal every single day! So Courts is the place to be all month long for new deals every day in the biggest March Madness promotion! Don't miss it. It's gonna be mad.
Welcome back. In tonight's newscast, Attorney General Levi Peter has sought to assure the Dominican public that the state and the government of Dominica is doing all in its power to ensure that justice takes its course in the case involving Joshua Etienne and 5 police officers. Tanya Green has more on this report.
Police officers Devin Challenger, Sergeant Hayden Morgan, WPC Gemma Lewis, Orland Vigil, and Martin Simon were jointly charged for the murder of Joshua Etienne in August of 2014. Etienne was found dead in his cell at the Portsmouth Police Station on August 5, 2014, days after he was arrested for possession of ammunition. On Tuesday, the Attorney General held a press conference where he challenged the naysayers, asking what more could the state or the government do in such a matter.
The main purpose of my address this morning is to point out and re-emphasize the fact that the state and the government is doing all that it can reasonably do in the circumstances to address this matter and to see that the system of justice works in the way that it should do. To those who ask, what has the state and government done to entitle me to give this assurance today that I give? I pose this question in return. Adhering to the principles of the rule of law, what more is it that the state and the government could have done in this case that they have not done?
Peter said, and I quote, "Not only has the state acted expeditiously, but it has acted robustly as reasonably practicable in the circumstances in protecting the public interest and the rule of law," end of quote. The matter involving the police officers and Etienne had been subjected to judicial review in 2014, but just last week, the judicial review proceedings in the civil court was discontinued. In August of 2014, the Attorney General held a similar press briefing where he explained what is judicial review and the process likely to unfold in respect to those proceedings and beyond. He also gave the assurance that the state and the government would address this matter in accordance with principles under the rule of law. Peter said despite this attempt, there are still those who reject the evidence and choose to cast blame on the state.
Let me hasten to make clear here that the rule of law means also that the accused are innocent until and unless they are proven to be guilty by a lawfully constituted court. of law. Whatever our personal opinions may be as to the guilt or otherwise of the accused officers, therefore, it must be understood that they are entitled to utilize every legitimate process of law in seeking to exercise their rights under the law. On occasions, that may prove frustrating to observers and more particularly to relatives and others close to the deceased. That sentiment is entirely understandable in those circumstances.
The Attorney General recalled the incident, noting that just 1 week, on August 12, 2014, following the incident, the 5 police officers were charged for the death despite the officers not being formally read the charge. Peter made it clear that the filing of judicial review, which caused the case to be delayed, was not made by request of the state or the government, but by the accused, as they are so rightfully entitled. He further called on the media to not only report on the case, but to educate the public in its report. For 767 News, I am Tanya Green reporting.
Thanks, Tanya, for that report. Meantime, Sergeant Hayden Morgan, one of the 5 police officers charged with the prison death of Joshua Aiton, has been granted bail. Sergeant Morgan made an application for bail which was granted before the High Court on Monday, March 30th, 2015. Speaking to the case during a press briefing early Tuesday morning, Attorney General Levi Peters said he anticipates that further applications will be submitted in the coming week for the other officers.
You will no doubt also be aware that an application was made and the matter came before for bail, and the matter came before the High Court yesterday. And one of the officers, Sergeant Morgan, was admitted to bail or granted bail, but the other officers remain in custody. It is my understanding that the other officers will be formally making an application for bail, perhaps today or tomorrow, but certainly shortly. And of course, the High Court will hear the application and will determine the appropriate course to take, whether the accused should be granted bail or not.
Till then, the law only provides for the 5 officers, Devin Challenger, WPC Gemma Lewis, Orland Vigil, and Martin Seaman, to be remanded at the state prison. The officers will return to court in June 2015 for the preliminary inquiry. We now go to a clip with Alicia George on the construction site of the state-of-the-art Newtown Primary School.
So we're here at the site of the Newtown Primary School, and it's going to be a newly constructed school with elevators and a bunch of classrooms to pretty much service 300 children. And that had been started by the government of Dominica about a year or 2 ago. It costs approximately 6.3 million EC dollars. And what I have at the back of me is pretty much the structure. Nothing else has been done as yet, but the project is expected to be completed by July, and students are expected to take up school and residency here by September. Of course, right now, all the students are pretty much spread out, some at the Bathurst State campus and some in other vicinities. But as I said before, it is expected to be done in July of 2015.
As we can see, the Newtown Primary School is well on its way to completion. This represents a symbolic pillar of the relationship between the People's Republic of China and the government of Dominica. This school, upon completion, will be a landmark that will transform the delivery of primary education in the Commonwealth of Dominica. When completed, we will have a total of 14 classrooms. We will also have labs for the delivery of science lessons and, of course, the performing arts. We will also have an auditorium where students and staff will be able to engage in extracurricular activities. As you have seen this afternoon, this is the first for us here in Dominica. It is the first of our schools here on island.
The project costs over EC $6 million and is expected to be completed by the end of July. The school is expected to be operational by September of this year, housing over 300 students and catering to those with disabilities. According to Minister Seja, the construction of the state-of-the-art school marks a new day in education at the primary level in Dominica. The minister said qualified teachers are being trained to facilitate students, particularly those with special needs.
For a very long time now, the government of Dominica and the Ministry of Education have recognized the need to provide quality education for all. In fact, we are within the Ministry of Education. Our motto is that each child must succeed. And yes, we have placed focus on training teachers who are able to deliver to these students to meet their varying needs.
Minister Seja stated that one of the hallmarks of the Dominica Labour Party administration is addressing the needs of the poor people in Dominica, as he assured the public that at no time during the party's rule will fees associated with the delivery of education be unaffordable for the people. Meanwhile, Acting Prime Minister and Minister for Housing, Lands and Water Resource Management, Honorable Reginald Austri, says this project demonstrates clearly the new foreign policy strategy adopted by the DLP government.
This just represents or demonstrates really our foreign policy strategy, the new strategy that has been adopted by the Dominican Labour Party government, where we seek to use our foreign policy to enrich Dominica, both in terms of quality and in terms of quantity. I'm scared of the amount of concrete. I mean, that's a lot of concrete. And that should signal to us the quality of work that has gone on to that project. And I'm very, very satisfied. The Chinese, they have a knack for art and aesthetics. And I'm very, very confident that on completion of this building, it will be a state-of-the-art building, both in terms of quality and in terms of strength, and in terms of capacity, capability. I'm confident that we will in fact get a very, very good product at the end of this project.
Honorable Austri says his administration will maintain its position on the One China policy. He said to date, the government of Dominica has not had to pay back the People's Republic of China for its generosity, noting that China has its own challenges. The minister commended the People's Republic of China for its support to Dominica and thanked the Chinese ambassador for his support during the project. Accuracy should always come before finances was the message from Wendy Kitson Pigott during her facilitation of a two-day meeting, which commenced on Tuesday at the Princess Margaret Hospital's Conference Center. The activity, organized by the Ministry of Health in collaboration with the Caribbean MedLabs Foundation, focused on the development of a national laboratory, policy and regulatory framework. Pigott said one of the main aspects of the laboratory policy is the prevention of harm, which is only possible with accuracy.
US experts estimate as many as 98,000 people, and I've seen higher figures, die in any given year from preventable medical errors that occur in US hospitals. Some of that clearly may have to do with labs, some of that doesn't. And the important thing is here, we make a lot of fuss about the accidents and breast cancer and AIDS, etc. But in fact, that is more than die from any of those things, okay?
Pigott stated another instance where accuracy is vital was with the recalling of thousands of vitamin D results in 2009 due to inaccuracies by one of the United States' largest laboratories, Quest, which conducts tests for many countries in the Caribbean.
There's a 2012 study in Kenya. 4 of 10 lab results are wrong. I often wonder what will happen if we do these studies in this region. Okay, and we need to do these studies in the region. And this is not only about labs, and I keep saying that. In many cases, I go into labs, they simply don't have reagents and supplies. They can't buy quality control material. They're not allowed to participate in proficiency testing programs. Okay, so you see a lot of stop and start, nobody maintains the equipment. The lab can't do it. They have no resources to do that. They get these from external to the lab. But people have to understand that these are the things that allow the lab to produce the kinds of results that it should produce.
The National Laboratory Policy, once formulated, will be used to inform and guide the operations of the national laboratory sector on the island. Some of the objectives include agreeing on common gaps, challenges and barriers currently impacting medical and public health laboratory services in Dominica, and to review the draft generic regulatory and policy framework for the laboratories in the Caribbean. The policy will also identify priority areas within the national policy to be addressed in the first instance to support the strengthening of the National Laboratory Service. Donations to education and fascinating bushfires. More stories when 767 News returns after this break.
Let's see how easy it is to play Powerball and win. Simply select 4 numbers from 1 to 30 and a Power Pick number from 1 to 5, and that's it. You have just selected your winning numbers for Powerball. Or just get a quick pick and let the machine select your lucky numbers for you. Remember, Powerball is drawn every Wednesday and Saturday from 9 p.m. Powerball from the Dominica National Lottery.
Pay absolutely nothing down and nothing further until Easter this carnival at Courts. Yes, it's time to head down to Courts and get everything for your home today and pay absolutely nothing until Easter. Offer applies to credit purchases 24 months and over. Plus, we'll even give you a chance to trade in your old item for something brand new for a nice discount. Up to $400 off. We'll even haul away the old item when we deliver the new. You've got to rush down to Courts today and enjoy this carnival with nothing down and absolutely nothing to pay until Easter. Plus, trade in for a discount. Courts, bringing value home.
Be part of the excitement. Tune in to the Tiny Green Show every other Monday on Digicel Play TV, Channel 3.
Thanks for staying with us. On Friday, March 27, 2015, the Ministry of Education and Human Resource Development received a donation of 500 exercise books from Fine Food Inc. The donation was made to the Southern District School Management Team for use during National Numeracy Week, which is carded for May 11th to the 15th, 2015. Representative from Fine Food Inc., Nadine Benjamin, made the presentation to the principal of the Trafalgar Primary School, Doreen Watts, while pledging her company's support for worthwhile activities in education. Learning Support Advisor for Mathematics in the Ministry of Education, Clement Vital, said the ministry was grateful for the donation of books, which would assist students to participate fully in numeracy exercises during the week of activities. And in other stories, a late-night bushfire at Les Point in Massac had onlookers fascinated on Monday night. According to a fire official who spoke with 767 News, the fire was situated way up in the mountains away from any residential area and had no effect on any homes. No confirmation was given on the time the fire began or how long after the fire officers responded to the call. However, according to the official, the area was not accessible for firefighters to assist, but the fire eventually burnt out on its own. So far this year, the fire department has seen several bushfires around that area. Lent is almost over and Easter is approaching. Of course, there will be lots of activities taking place across the island, including an Easter play dubbed The Second Chance, to be performed by members of the Hunger and Thirst Drama Group. The Second Chance, written and directed by Kathy Augustine, will tell a story of how God is able to change your life and offer a new beginning. But what does that really mean? Well, 767 News invited Augustine and a few members of the People's Pentecostal Church in Goodwill on set to tell us more about the play.
Today we have in studio Kathy Augustine, and she's a member of the Pentecostal Church of Goodwill, and along with her we have 2 other members of the church, and they're here to tell us some exciting news about an Easter play. Right, Kathy?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, how are you guys doing today?
Oh, we are pretty good. Thank you. We are blessed.
Okay, so who's going to start off by telling us what the play will be about?
Okay, the name of the play is going to be The Second Chance, and it's all about knowing the king of a second chance. You see, in today's world, we live in a time where people go through a lot of frustration because they do not find the forgiveness that they are really looking forward to get to live another life, to live a happier life, to live a fulfilled life. But then we want the world to know that there is a God who is able to give not just one chance, but a second chance, a third chance, and so many chances in life.
And of course, all three of you are going to be in the play. Just go ahead and introduce yourselves for the sake of the audience.
Well, I'm Grayson Roberts, and I'm a member of a part of the play, and I'll be playing the role of Chef Gray. A lot of people will be coming to my bar, and that bar will be one of the main focus at the play.
Okay.
My name is Anicia John Baptist. I'll also be acting in the play, which is on Friday, the 3rd of April. I'll be acting as a wealthy wife, but also strong in my Christian faith.
Now, obviously, this is supposed to be a fun play, entertaining with a lot of drama, but the end result is ultimately giving a message of God. What message would you like persons in the audience to receive or to leave the Arawak House of Culture with?
Very good. Well, the message, the name of the play speaks for itself. The second chance. We want everybody to know that there is a second chance of life. You go through a lot of difficulties in life where you do not know who to turn to or where to turn to. But we want you to know that there is a God who forgives. God can give you, He can turn everything around for you.
Is this your first time writing a play?
No. Well, actually, we already had a very first play called The Voice of Truth, and I am sure that many of you who came to Arawak House of Culture, I think in the year 2012, you all could attest that it was tremendously done, and the crowd was, overwhelmed with a lot of laughter and drama, and the message was so powerful. And this time around, we are going to even have it. It's going to be greater, it's going to be more explosive, it's going to be, the laughter is going to be even, bubbling. So we are urging each and every one of you to come to the Arawak House of Culture on the 3rd of April, that's Good Friday. So come with your family. Come, let everybody, just come with your family, tell your friends about it, tell your neighbors about it. There is something going on at Arawak House of Culture on Good Friday.
The second chance will debut on April 3rd, 2015 at the Arawak House of Culture at 7 p.m. Tickets can be purchased at the CLC bookstore in Roseau and at the People's Pentecostal Church in Goodwill. Interested persons can also email victorious.e@hotmail.com for tickets and more information about the play. And that's it for local news. The latest in sports news is coming up next with Larry, so stay tuned.
Good evening and welcome to 767 Sports. In tonight's coverage, we begin with cricket. Reigning Indian Premier League IPL champions Kolkata Knight Riders KKR are poised to get in a legal battle with the Board of Control for Cricket in India, BCCI, over West Indian spin wizards Sunil Narine, with just over a week to go for the 8th staging of the competition. The 26-year-old right-arm off-break bowler, banned for suspect action at the 2014 Champions League 2020, was barred from playing in the final against Chennai Super Kings. Narine was subsequently dropped from the West Indies tour of India and opted out of the 2015 ICC World Cup to sort out his bowling action. Returning to the nets, Narine was cleared by the ICC after biomechanical testing in Loughborough. However, the BCCI has refused the ICC report, insisting that the spinner undergo another round of testing at the Sri Ramakandra University in Chennai. The KKR is considering taking legal action against the BCCI, pointing out that if Narine was cleared by the World Governing Body for Cricket, that should be enough for the BCCI. The BCCI President's Office says a decision will be taken over Narine in the next few days, though KKR Chief Executive Officer Venki Mysore has denied reports about the club speaking to the BCCI chief. In basketball, the Poli Sports Club arrested the Lapland Knights when they came head-to-head in a basketball match at the Massacard Court on Saturday. Both teams started out on a good note. However, police gained the lead after a number of unforced errors by Lapland, which proved to be their downfall. Captain of the police basketball team, Marlon Hillier, said, although this was their first game of the Dominican Amateur Basketball Association new season, their lack of practice affected their performance.
We were a little bit shaky on the offense, but through communication and our skills together, I must say that we played very well, honestly. Just that at certain times, you know, the opponent's defense was a little hard to break from the start. But we have to come up with a couple timeouts and we come up with a good strategy to beat them. Our team on our whole is a very formidable team. We work best and it communicates to each other properly.
Hillier said, although their performance was not up to standard, they are satisfied with the victory and is looking forward to more victories this season.
I expect that we do much better in the upcoming games because we are actually trying to get a practice session going at least once a week or so, because as policemen we don't really get much time, you know, because we try and do our best. Our expectations are very high. We expect to win this year, of course.
Meanwhile, captain of Lapland Knights, Barney Williams, said, although there was room for improvement in the game, the team performed well.
We had chances when we came back into the game, but then we let the deficit go back up. But it's because we haven't really been practicing too much. Our chemistry is just not there. But it's our first game and hopefully we can bounce back.
Williams contributed lack of practice to their 16-point defeat.
Sometimes the offensive schemes that the police were running, we were really trying to react to it. So, yeah, especially because of our poor defense, especially because of lack of practice.
Based on the result of this game, will you all be working towards having more frequent practices to improve on the areas that need improvement?
Yeah, that's always the intention. But it's something that we have not been able to do because of the schedules of some of the guys on the team. Some of us are based in Lapland while the others are based in Roseau. So sometimes it's really difficult to get everyone together for practice.
Final scores in the game, Police 70 to Knights 54. In volleyball, in the only 2 games of the weekend, the DB's family Acers and Young Vets took to the north to visit the Portsmouth Breakers. In Game 1, defending women's champs, the DB's Acers made it business as usual, taking care of the younger ladies in straight sets. The Breakers kept it interesting, but were no match for the prowess of Acers and national captain Anna Maria Xavier. Xavier topped all scorers with 15 points, including 9 kills, 5 aces, and 1 block. Teammates Shari Pascal Maroney and Zaidu Henry followed with 10 and 9 points respectively. Final scores 25 to 23, 25 to 18, and 25 to 18. In the second game, Kerwin George of the Breakers put on a show for his fans, amassing 27 points, 23 kills, 2 aces, and 2 blocks. Dion Vidal of the Young Vets scored 16 kills, 3 aces, and 4 blocks, while his teammate Lincoln Rivera also had 20 points with 16 kills and 4 blocks. Final scores 30 to 28, 15 to 25, 25 to 22, 21 to 25, and 15 to 11. There will be no game this weekend, and the Dominican Amateur Volleyball Association wishes everyone a safe and blessed Easter holiday.
That was Larry with the latest in sports. Now for a recap of tonight's headline stories. Attorney General reassures the pursuit of justice in case involving Joshua Ayton and 5 police officers. Completion of state-of-the-art Newtown Primary School anticipated to change the face of primary education. Fine Foods Inc. donates to education on the island. And in sports, Police Sports Club defeats LA Knights. And that's all for now. Drop us an email, like us on Facebook, and be sure to like our 767 News pages. From all of us here at 767 News production team, I am Rima Alfred. Thanks for watching.